sitting on the full-ice chair, the cat says to me, "You're in my life."
So we were talking to his son who lives in Seattle, and another one is in Washington.
I'm happy the cats
But we are not
appreciate
sure
that.
that we don't know when we are going to go to India. And we
That's her another one contact. It shows this woman, and there's like a small little, grim reaper. And he says, "Don't worry, I'm just a sore throat."
Vedram karnaihi shunuyam devaha Vedram pashyemakshabhir yajatraha Sthirairangai Tushtuvagam sastanubhihi Vyashema devahitayadayuhu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us now pray together. We offer our salutations to the all-loving being who endows all beings with consciousness. We meditate on the Lord, who is the origin of the universe. Lord, thou abidest in all, thou art all, thou assumest all forms, thou art the origin and goal of all. Thou art the self of all. Thou art existence, knowledge and bliss. Salutations unto thee. May the world be peaceful. May the wicked become gentle. May all creatures think of mutual welfare. May their minds be occupied with what is spiritual and abiding. May our hearts be immersed in selfless love for God.
Peace, 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 peace.
Let us feel our true self, the Atman, who is all-pervading, who is the source of consciousness, bliss. Let us feel that as a spark of light in our hearts. Let us concentrate on that spark of light, this self in our heart. As we meditate on that, due to concentration, it starts becoming bigger and bigger, brighter and brighter. It occupies my whole personality. Not only that, I see it occupying the whole universe. vanished is my little separate identity. I am seeing the same, one without second, infinite existence. That is my true nature. I am the light of the world. I am the source of all joy. I am peace itself, bliss itself. Om, peace, peace, peace. Om, asatu ma sadgamaya, tamaso ma jyotirgamaya, मृत्युर्माम् अमृतं गमय. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, and from this limited mortal existence to the ultimate immortal existence itself. Om, peace, peace, peace. So, dear friends, forgive this appearance. This is first time, that I am speaking here with a face mask on. But there is first for everything, and we should get the experience of all different things, that how it feels to speak with a face mask on. So I have heard many lectures with face mask on, but this is the first time that I am giving a lecture with the face mask. So you have to feel that behind the mask it is actually the same face. It is. Also,
it is Halloween.
Also, earlier you could take my words on face value. With this no face, so how will you take my words on face value? I don't know. But that gives you the chance to probe deeper. The topic that looking for entertainment is there in my mind. I was entertaining that topic in my mind for a long time, and especially it became very strong when I was reading Kathopanishad, where the very familiar story, a great, very inspiring story of Nachiketa, a young disciple who approaches the god of death. I don't want to go into the whole story, that how he ended up there, but then he had asked for, the death had offered him 3 boons, and with the third boon, he asked for what is can be called as the self-knowledge, that which does not change in the midst of all the changes that are going on, and so is immortal. And the god of death, Yama, he wanted to test if he really wants this or just is asking for the sake of asking. So he tested him that, okay, please, this is a very difficult boon to grant and difficult even to understand. So why not ask for some other nice boons? And he was presented by this Yamaraja with such enticing alternatives that you can get the whole, kingdom of the all three worlds, and you can have the life as well as you want to lead. You will remain healthy throughout. He didn't say you won't have to put on face mask or anything, but you can take for granted that if you are going to live healthy for all the time, you don't need a mask. So all these things were told. All the entertainments that are only available in heaven, they will come to you. And Nachiketa, this young boy, just remained unperturbed, very firm in his conviction, and he had the reason for that. He gives the reason to that he does not want any of these. And one of the reasons that he gave was very important, that what you call entertainment, Shobhava Martyasya Yadantakaitat Sarvendriyanam Jarayanti Tejah, that these are all passing appearances that you are trying to entice me with. But what is this entertainment that you are showing me is just wasting our own energies and calling it entertainment. And so I am not going to be enticed by that. I am not going to fall for those. In fact, he said that if you want to give the boon that I have asked, give it. I am not taking any other thing. This is the only thing that I want. And so, here the idea that struck me was, what we call entertainment, what is it really? We should see any object that we look for entertainment, a person or an object or an event or whatever, say some music, some the sports or some other things. Do they really have any entertainment value, or it is just wasting our own power of organs? That is what Nachiketa says. And as I pondered on it, how true it is, that it is just wasting our own energies and calling it entertainment. So it is good to probe that what is it really entertainment. Several people have, very different variety of, objects of entertainment. One person's entertainment need not be the entertainment of another. Like many of us, including myself, find the sports very entertaining. So, like say soccer, and I would go and see the soccer games, play soccer in my childhood, and then, but one lady could not understand getting, so much perked up with this idea of playing this sport, soccer. What is there in that soccer? I saw those 22 fools, they are running about after one ball. It is beyond me. Just give everybody one ball and be done with it. Just you have to spend 22 balls. What is there to need to rush after one ball? So she could not have that sense of sports. She was not at all interested in that. Some people are interested for some time being, and we see that happening. Something that is entertaining in the childhood, as you grow older, it doesn't remain very entertaining, and it keeps on shifting as we grow older and older, that it is what appears to be entertaining at one time is not entertaining anymore. One little friend of mine earlier used to be very much into that American football, that it is always, his eyes would just start sparkling when you broach the topic of football, and this is my favorite team, this is the best team in the world, whatever, so, and was ready to talk about it. He had so much of information on that any sports journalist will be proud of. So much information this little about 9-year-old, 10-year-old child had on this football. And if somebody criticizes his favorite club, he would be ready to vehemently argue against that. So, but later on he lost interest. So just to poke him once, I said, "Oh, your favorite club, they won the game the other day. Do you know?" "Swami, I don't follow it anymore." So I had lost interest in it. Now that thing is no more entertaining. Some other avenues of entertainment are found. I know a few people who find tremendous entertainment in the cleaning work. Give them a mop and broom and they are so happy. If it is, if there is nothing to clean, sometimes we get some people here like that. Very good, that we get some job done. But no, nothing needs to be cleaned. They don't feel happy at all. In fact, it would look silly, so they won't do it, but they would be perfectly happy to get some dirt from outside, throw and then clean. So it is because there are so many different ways people get entertainment. So what happens when you get that sense that I am enjoying? It is you rush towards that object of entertainment, either means a physical object or something that is mental. It is you become so animated with that. You become enlivened completely. And it is, if you look at the neurology of it, it is very interesting that what happens when there is an object that a person sees the possibility of getting joy from. Like suppose somebody who likes ice cream. So, ice cream. Then what happens? These neurotransmitters, they start excreting fast, like dopamine. It becomes, coming out, it starts coming out, and the excitement of it. You can see that in our organs. Even if there is a face mask, you will be able to see the glittering eyes, with the hope that I am going to get that joy. The grown-up people somehow manage to hide it. Children don't have such inhibitions. So, that goes on flowing, expecting some joy. Now, if you see that dopamine is also something that is connected with addictions, and therefore what happens, what you get the entertainment from, the entertainment goes away, but the drag remains. And then, as the rule of addiction is, suppose one scoop of ice cream was going to give you entertainment, you think that that is how the misconceptions happen. You don't see that there is no entertainment in ice cream per se. You think that it was not enough probably. So let me try 2 scoops. Now again that grows more and more, so, and you become addicted to it. So, and then that follows, the state of depression. It is later on what happens is, you go for such things out of habit, even though there is no sensory enjoyment coming from it. Yet, it becomes a habit, and thus one goes for it. So, that is how one questions, what is this really entertaining there? It is the same thing happens even if that object is not there. Yet, if you are thinking of the object, the same secretions happen, the same type of excitement comes, although there is no external object. It is like, this machinery inside is rubbing against each other, hitting each other, and your eyes, your ears, your body is getting excited and showing it all. So, what is happening? Your energies are just getting wasted. You are going for, in this search for entertainment, you are going to addictions, and the results of that you feel depressed because you didn't get the entertainment that you wanted from it. It lives for a short time. Like our John says, you have to then deal with the effects. I offered him some sweet. Hey, Johnny. And John said, no. And he said, why? A moment on the lip, forever on the hip. So, it is. So, he has some such nice pips that if you indulge, you bulge. So, that becomes the result, but stopping becomes difficult. Once you have set it in motion, now it goes out of your control, and more frustrations set in life, it becomes not at all a joyous life. Therefore, it is Sri Ramakrishna gave many analogies. In Bhagavad Gita there are some verses, I can quote here two of them for today's discussion. But imagine, like Sri Ramakrishna told about a camel eating the thorny bushes. Keeps on eating. The mouth gets lacerated and bleeding, but can't stop eating those thorny bushes. Why? It's feeling that it is very nice. Actually, it is just having its own blood getting in. And because those thorns don't have any nutrition whatever. And yet, its own blood is giving the sense that, wow, I am having such a nice party. It is. Similarly, this camel probably most of you had no chance of seeing eating thorns. But you must have seen a dog give a bone, and the dog takes it and keeps on biting on it for a long time. What it is taking in, the bone has absolutely no nutrition. It is biting it, and every time it bites, saliva is produced. Just swallowing its own saliva and calling it entertainment. So that is, human beings are like that. I am giving dogs example, but the dogs can accuse me that, why, are you any different? And I have to accept, no dear dog, in fact you are probably better. So it is because human beings have several different types of bones, so that we run after for entertainment and got caught in it. So therefore, there is a process in human beings. During this running after entertainment, we switch that process off. What is that is switched off? Is seeing the effects. We have the function of memory, but while I remember that the ice cream tasted so nice, I forget that the taste was only for a few seconds, and then it vanished, and then I had other problems coming because of that to deal with. I forget that part. Only this, that is a selective memory. Some people have selective memory. We all have, in fact, that whenever something is advantageous to us, we quote that, hey, that you said that to me. One tailor back in India, he had some deafness, and he was always late in fulfilling the orders that he had. So if somebody goes to him, hey, is our that dress that I had told you to sew is ready? And he would use his deafness then. Eh? What? It is, how much money to pay you are asking? That is because that gets remembered, how much money to take. That is, he would listen, he would be able to listen immediately. Now what is the bill to be paid? Oh, this is the bill. That would not be missed. So, just as that was selective hearing, there is selective memory also. Anyway, I will come to the memory a little later, but the process in enjoyment or entertainment kind of shuts off our ability to judge the results of that action. If we had that ability intact, we wouldn't have gone for that. It is because we would not only see the bait, we will see the trap behind it. It is, so we won't go for that. So that process gets shut off. So it was told us in our school, that if you run after pleasures and entertainments, you will not be able to learn. If you go for learning, therefore, switch off your running after entertainment for that time. So, sukharthinah kuto vidya, vidyarthino va kuta sukham. So, because vidya, different brain functions start when you have a learning process. So, there has been a lot of research on the joy that we get while meditating. Is it a similar joy? No. Its nature is different. It is not exciting ourselves but calming down ourselves. It is not going out but turning inwards. So, you see, the neuro research has shown different things coming up when a person meditates. Of course, the subjects which were tested for this by neurologists, those who offered themselves, those who were meditating regularly. But there was a caveat put that when I know that you have put all those electrodes and all that around the head, I may not be able to properly meditate. I would be aware of that there is something around it, something that is going on, and I am going to get evaluated on my meditational experiences. So the meditation may not be as good as it otherwise would have been. But still, some important results have come up that it is during meditation process, two different tools have been used for that. One is called PET, positron electrotomography. So it is those scans, they have revealed that there is the secretion of serotonin more and melatonin, which actually bring calmness to you. Its effect is to calm down the personality rather than making it excited and making it run after something outside. Now, if you see, for example, just compare what I was telling, that you see and some ice cream, now it comes up, Now it is, I had decided not to eat ice cream because I had sore throat. This is something that happened long ago. But then the love of ice cream was there. So then when I saw the possibility of eating ice cream, I told myself, what does it happen even if I have got sore throat? It doesn't matter. All those considerations were pushed aside. The limbs, the legs and hands and mouth, all were given that dynamism. Everything became enlivened because of that possibility of so-called entertainment. So, but during meditation, there is no object outside for entertainment. But we are actually going towards the true source of bliss. So the whole idea becomes completely different. that your personality, because the external draws, they have been calmed down, and the personality becomes calm. And then you feel a different type of joy. And if that process continues and culminates in realization of this self, then you are joy itself. There is a beautiful story. It comes in Brihadaranyaka as well as the Taittiriya Upanishad, that they decided to measure the joy of an illumined soul, the one who is illumined by realizing the Atman. It is immense joy we have heard, but we should be scientific. We should actually compare and measure it. So they started the measurement of the joy of illumined. So they took a unit. What was the unit? That huge unit, when you want to measure big things. It is alright when you are measuring distance from here to there, use that regular foot rule or tape. But to measure the distance between here and some distant star, you use light years. Big unit needs to be taken up. So to measure the joy of the illumined, a big unit has been taken up. And that was the maximum joy as a human being one can have. That a youthful person with all energies and all the senses intact, and such a person is given the whole earth full of all the wealth without any competition. All for you, come on. That is considered one small unit, So imagine our little joys in comparison with that. Now they started putting it at 100 times that. Now they changed therefore the bigger unit. That is the joy of somebody who is in the Pitruloka. Then 100 times that. Again the joy of somebody who is in the Devaloka. Then other 100 times more than that. Like that it was shown 7 times. Till the joy of Brahma. And still the joy of illumined was not reached at all. All the joys that were shown, it was, the knower of Brahman or knower of the self has already those. Now, so how much is the joy of this illumined person? And the sages to whom this question was put, they smiled, You cannot have this kind of measurement. How can you measure that, say, a real dollar in counts of fake dollar bills? Even if you say so many fake dollars, they are fake, they are trash. So it is the real joy itself. You become that joy. You don't have to get joy from something else, but you yourself become joy. So that is how the meditation culminates there in realizing that ultimate supreme bliss. And then naturally you don't go after the different objects for enjoyment. It is impossible. So Bhagavad Gita therefore says that the Buddhaha, means the wise people, they do not go after the sensory enjoyments. Where there is, what is the enjoyment? An object and the organ, they collide with each other. they come in touch with each other and then create a spark in the brain that you term as entertainment. So, he said that Lord Krishna tells there that this is not at all entertainment, rather it creates bondage. So, na teshu ramate buddhaha adyantavanta kaunteya. They are the contacts that come and go. There is no joy in them, and so therefore the knowledgeable people don't fall for it. There is another process, that when one goes for entertainment, drawn, it is a drag that one cannot resist. It is very difficult. So you feel the drag for that enjoyment. Now, what is to be done then? The sages tell, no, don't go for it. But I cannot restrain myself. What should be done? Sri Ramakrishna said that, okay, in that case, you go to enjoy, but keep on an observant mind and see what is happening and learn from that. He gave the example of himself. Just to bring the things clear, that one day I had the desire to eat those rasagullas. Rasagulla is a sweet, special sweet made in Bengal. It is cheese balls dipped in syrup for a long time and very much liked by people. So Sri Ramakrishna said, I also had the desire to eat rasagulla. So, what I did, I got a few rasagullas, put a couple of them in mouth, rolled them from one cheek to another cheek like that, and kept on telling my mind, hey mind, do you understand that this is called eating rasagulla? Nutritionally it is no different from any other food. And there is really, the taste is there only while before it goes down the throat. And what a fool you had been that you got enticed by such things. Fine to you, getting enticed by such things. Okay, once you did, okay, now never have such a desire again. That is how, if one gets attracted towards something, cannot stop the attraction. Now, while having this so-called entertainment, let us keep on thinking, is this worth it? Is this really bringing me any enjoyment? I am just getting entangled. So this learning process will gradually wean us away from these fruitless drags of various entertaining objects. So that is how when one is overpowered by those desires, one should at least keep the learning tendency along with it and observe what's happening. So this is a technique that has to be used, because learning has two components. Learning means one thing is understanding and another thing is memory. Again, memory has functions like storing, but not just dumping like that, but retrievable. When needed, it should be retrievable. So all that properly stored memory, that is a part of learning. So again, I don't want to go into the details, we don't have that much time, that's a completely different topic, discussing this learning and memory. But what happens there, that the memory is something that there is what is called working memory. And then there is something that is stored, classified and stored memory. So now when it is just working, it is superficial. It is there and gone immediately. It doesn't get stored. And so you understand, you know, and immediately forget. It is very quickly that happens. One man went to the doctor and told the doctor, doctor, I forget everything very quickly. Oh my goodness, since when is it happening? What, since when? That was forgotten right then, So, but there is memory that gets stored properly. And then when you learn that lesson, when a similar situation comes, you retrieve it. Oh, again you are getting desire to eat Rasgulla. What happened last time? That lesson comes up. And so you refuse to get enticed by that. There are again the neurology of it. Oh, I forgot about telling that in meditation research, other techniques are also used, like it is that encephalograph is used to see the different brain waves, like what happens when a person is active. There are the certain patterns of waves, and they become active. These beta waves. Then there are the alpha waves, which indicate calmness. It is when in a person in a deep sleep, it is indicated by that the brain waves are called alpha waves. They are very calm pattern. But a person who is meditating, not asleep, I am not here referring to, some people in the name of meditation go to sleep. That is a different thing. The fellow is completely awake. It is not, the person is not asleep at all. Very conscious. And yet the pattern becomes, the wave pattern in the brain is very much like that alpha wave, and also still calm theta waves. So this is something that shows that it is really joy. The inner joy starts manifesting in that person's life, and therefore what happens is very interesting. That person does not need to seek other so-called entertaining objects, because always happy. Now, a person who is looking for entertainment in the, say, in the victory of one's own sports team, if that doesn't happen, becomes sorry. Now the point here is that thus your joy is not under your control at all. Now how those fellows are going to play and how their opponents are going to play, that will determine who is going to win. And if your joy is dependent on that, means you have absolutely no control on becoming happy. Not a desirable situation. But a person who has learned this, that joy is actually within me. Now that joy does not depend on any external circumstances. Completely free from that. Whether somebody wins elections, whether the day is drowsy, very cloudy and gloomy, this person's face is always happy, serene face. Whether gets a good, so-called good news or so-called bad news, the person is always happy because the source of entertainment is not outside. So this is what happens. And I was telling you about that it is a learning thing. We have to start learning. It is not that you don't know it, you don't know how to meditate and what is the, but let us learn, anything when we learn, and that is the speciality of human beings, that they learn a lot compared to any other species that we know, and change their life on the basis of that learning. Other creatures, they have some learning, but that is limited to, the same as the parent crow was eating, the little one learns to eat that much. And they're just limited to that kind of learning. They don't go to schools. They do not have any such idea at all. Human beings are the only, creatures who learn and change the life completely. Everything. Sometimes I tell this that, look, in this hall, you will not find even a single thing that has come to us by just nature. Every single thing, like this paper, thousands of years of research in chemistry, engineering and so forth has gone in bringing us this kind of such a nice white paper that can last long. You use ink on it, the ink does not spread. All this, requires lot of engineering skill. This is all because human beings learn. And what happens during the learning? Just see, very different neurotransmitters and receptors are involved there. That glutamate and GABA, GABA, they are the main ingredients in the process of learning. Very different from this dopamine. Some dopamine and other things are also there so that the learning also becomes an enjoyable experience. To keep that mood there. So there should be some entertainment associated with that. So that much is there. But main learning happens with that. The process of understanding and then storing. And then taking out when there is the need for it. So that is how you see the learning is like that. It is the main are these, the cider, serotonin, then norepinephrine and dopamine. I may not be pronouncing correctly, please forgive me. Apurva, you can correct me, you are in that field. So it is all these. So that is, they keep kind of maintenance of the learning process, because if there is no entertainment, the learning interest would go away. So some entertainment is put there through these. So when we learn, the personality, because of illumination, because of knowledge, gets calmed down, and you go towards the true entertainment, the real entertainment that will not bring frustrations. It is other entertainment that we run after the objects for. After all, what are they? They are just running after shadows which don't exist. So naturally they are sure to bring frustration in life. So this is the way that we can go towards the true entertainment. And so let us look for that kind of entertainment. Otherwise it is just contact, Matra Sparshasthu Pankteya. In the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, this thought comes that it is just the contact, that an object and this organ, they hit each other and they are producing sometimes heat, sometimes cold. Shitoshna Sukha Dukkhada. But they come and go. You should just be, patient with all that. That in life sometimes there will be cold, the winters come, summers come, and so let us patiently forbear all those things. It is, if our mind gets ready, it is very easy, It is that I learned from one Swami. It was very hot summer, that was back in India, and it was sweating, temperature was 116, and so, but the Swami said, what I do, I mentally go into the winter days. So the effect of heat vanishes. And then when it is biting cold in winter, I just switch my mind to summer days, so I feel warm. So everything is under your control then. If we can forbear these temptations to run after those things, gradually we gain more and more control in life and we proceed towards the true entertainment. So friends, I don't want to obstruct your entertainment by stretching the talk too long. So I am concluding here. Just meditate on this idea for a few minutes, not a few minutes, half a minute. And then if you have any questions, we shall take it up. Any questions? Yes, please. Do you have the speaker?
I think I'm loud enough.
Yes, but it should get heard on the internet,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that is why the speaker is put there. Our speaker guy is absent today, in person, is likely to be hearing on internet, but yeah.
So when we make music and we sing in a religious environment,
Yeah.
is that not also a form of entertainment?
There are two aspects that are getting mixed here. The religious sentiment and spiritual practice associated with it will take us to real source of entertainment. But the external part of it, that will draw us more towards that external entertainment that will have its repercussions that we had discussed. So, therefore it is told, another thing that I did not mention here, combining. If you cannot really stay away from entertainment, then initially put some religious idea associated with it. With the, the intention that let me hold on to the religious thought, take it deeper, and then the music, external aspect of it, would disappear. Like Inayat Khan, one of the greatest musicians of one time, he became a great Sufi teacher. Then he said, now I don't use my veena. He was a celebrated veena player and singer. So now I only play the strings of my heart. So that is the difference, that moving from the external to internal. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Could you say that if you feel like you're contributing to the well-being, let's say, of children, and you bring them to let's say a farm, and they're feeding animals and things like that. Couldn't you say that that's a form of healthy entertainment, knowing that they may, learn something from it, learning to love animals and things like that?
Well, that is again an external entertainment, but better. Let us put this word better. It is better to do something for the good of the world. At least the intention should be that, rather than hurting the world. Some people have that tendency, their entertainment rests in hurting somebody. So compared to that, this is better. But that again has the repercussions of an external enjoyment. Yeah.
Thank you, Swamiji. So I think one thing there is a question that's coming up for me is whether the form of entertainment you're talking about, is it more about distracting the mind, things that we do to just occupy ourselves and keep ourselves busy, versus I was really intrigued to hear more about what you're talking about, learning, maybe growing the mind or changing the mind. So can you comment more on that? Is this ultimately about what are we trying to accomplish with the mind?
It's a good question, that entertainment for the external objects is always a distraction, because it doesn't stay at one object. It, like a bee, it moves from flower to flower and so forth. So it is therefore, you have, say, a plate of food. Just one single item doesn't appear to be very entertaining. So you have different things, different condiments, different courses. And why? Because the distraction. Because one cannot give you entertainment properly in the external sense. And so the mind gets distracted, which is exactly opposite of what happens in meditation. It gets concentrated, and thus it becomes powerful. When it gets distracted, then it loses its power, its capabilities. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Oh, there is. Okay. Then our John Janek also wants to ask if you can say something.
We've always been told that we're like social animals, and that has been encouraged in us, especially coming from India, leaving our families there, and then all the friends around, the community around became the family that we adopted. And then, the trend became, okay, we are getting together on a Thursday night, and a Friday night, on a Saturday. So now being on this path, I see, that the real joy really does not come from there. But I also have that fear of isolation and disconnecting from my family. If I isolate myself from...
Yeah, if suppose your so-called family or friend circle and you are getting isolated from, if that is that association with them, connection with them, if it is not bringing you towards the true objective of your life, why should one go for it? It is, one should reject that. I remember that letter that was written by Saint Tulsidas to Mirabai. Mirabai also was in this mental conundrum, that she had the love for God, but then what to do with all the other members of the family, the royal family, their etiquettes, their ways of entertainment and so forth. So Tulsidas wrote to her that, look, will you call that as an eye ointment if it kills your vision? That is not an eye ointment. It is, thus you should avoid that. Get out of it. Man is a social animal, but you can choose this society according to the goal that you want to achieve in life. Not just because you are in a certain group, you take up their ways. Therefore, you see different types of groups get formed. In Sanskrit there is a nice saying, samana shileshu vyasaneshu sakhyam. That the similar tendencies, in English it is translated like the birds of a feather flock together. So it is, they have the club of musicians, those who music lovers, they would get into that social atmosphere. There are those who love eating, so they form a cooking club. It is, they let us exchange our cooking recipes, so that becomes the community. Then there are those who like to smoke marijuana, that becomes their community. The gamblers, they have their own community. So it is like that. So what kind of community that we want to choose? What type of society and company that we want to choose? Something that does not hurt our journey to ultimate goal. So therefore, choose a community like a spiritual community, and that will lead you towards more and more spiritual enhancement and true entertainment. One has to make a tough choice, Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Swami. I think this is very interesting because when I was, I was
Please
India,
speak into microphone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Here. Oh, okay. The monks that do very, very, very deep meditation, and I was in India, I could see some of them. It's just amazing. And I used to meditate at Berry Mass at Vipassana, and I meditate for a week, and I thought I could never do this. I'm going to go crazy. But when you get up with 300 people, at first I felt this is so bizarre. Everybody gets up, they eat. No one talks the whole time. The teacher talks. It was the most wonderful experience I've ever had. And I wish I could go back more, but now so many people want to go to Berry Insight Center for meditation. It's not any religion, it's just, well, it is. It's a Vipassana meditation. But it was so amazing.
Yes.
And if I want to go there now, I have to wait 6 months to even go because so many people are lined up.
Well, but good question that you may not be able to go there,
But I do myself.
but what you get from there or what you got from there, now make use of it.
And I believe
And when you get,
It has changed my mind, because
Good,
I used to have
exactly, yeah.
very low self-esteem.
Yeah, I could understand that. It
And
has
it
changed your
changed my
approach.
mind. And I
Yeah.
don't mind being alone.
Yeah. Everybody, now it is for everyone. I was talking about Kathopanishad. There the last verse comes that thus hearing the message of this god of death, Nachiketa became free from all impurities and went beyond death. But this is for anybody who knows this. Anybody who does it will get that same result. Like anybody who wants to come to Vedanta Society and follows the directions will be able to come. It is like that, So millions of people have done that. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord tells Arjuna that Bahavo Jnana Tapasa Puta Madbhavam Agataha, that so many multitude of people have practiced and have thus realized me, that is God. So it is possible for everyone. Only thing is very few try. Like our Peter here sitting, he had told me that it is, Swami, people can do right things, but they first do all the wrong things and then at the end take up the right thing. Yeah. Any question on the web?
No question.
No question on the web. So, okay, let us conclude with the closing prayers. Before that, let me tell you, now next Sunday, that is in November, the topic of discussion is how did we get here in the first place? So, I get this question many times, so I decided let me elaborate it in one lecture. The Tuesday and Friday lectures or classes on Vedanta treatises will go on as usual. Tuesdays, the topic is Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, and on Fridays, it is stories from Srimad Bhagavatam. On coming Saturday, there is the day-long silent meditation. Now you can come for that,
Is
John.
that the first of the month?
First Saturday of the month.
First Saturday.
Yeah. So it is, from 12 to 8. So you can come for that. And then there is a spiritual retreat coming up in December. It is on December 10th. The topic for that day-long spiritual retreat is direct experience, aparokshanubhuti, a great text of Shankaracharya. So, one has to register for this retreat, and the registration fee is $15. And then you can register in person or you can do it online. Registration stops as soon as the seats get filled up. Today there will be no soup supper for the same reason that there is mask on the face. So it is, but then I assure you, next Sunday we will give you double soup. May the Divine, who is Father in heaven of the Christians, Holy One of the Jewish faith, Allah of the Muslims, Buddha of the Buddhists, Tao of the Taoists, Great Spirit of the Native Americans, Ahura Mazda of the Zoroastrians, and Brahman of the Hindus, lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. May the all-loving being manifest himself unto us and grant us abiding understanding and all-consuming divine love. Peace, peace, Peace be to God. There will be arati now. One thing of not having soup supper is now those who are attending in person and those who are attending online, they are at par now. Earlier, they were given a kind of raw treatment, no soup supper. Oh, where is Abhijit? Okay, I will do that. Okay. Krishna Nature's